there's talk that the United States Senate is going to vote next week on this compromise bill being led by West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. There are a number of things that were stripped out of that bill, especially the ethics pieces. But one of the issues deals with voter ID. Now, although it does not explicitly call for a national voter ID, it does, though, according to Reverend Dr. William Barber of the Poor People's Campaign and others, literally paved the way to a national voter ID when there are a number of organizations and states continuing to fight voter ID in the courts. This issue of voter ID has an impact not only on African Americans, Latinos, but also Native Americans. Joining us right now is O.J. Siemens, co-executive director of Four Directions Native Vote. O.J., glad to have you back on Roland Unfiltered. And so explain to our audience how Native Americans were specifically targeted in the last presidential campaign over the issue of voter ID.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here, Roland. And I want to congratulate you on your show of the Power Roundtable a few days ago. I think you straightening Governor Christie out, and I think we should name him now Governor Crispy after you roasted him, was pretty good. I mean, it's always good when you confront them with facts and they try to say that the words that you used aren't really the words that they understand. So congratulations on that. You did a great job.
I appreciate it.
First of all, voter IDs are really dangerous, not only to Indian country, but people of color, depending on where you live. On reservations throughout the United States, we do not have residential addresses. And so what is happening is by requiring a voter ID, they require a physical address on that. And so most Native Americans do not have physical addresses. And it is intentional, because I can tell you when we were in North Dakota and they brought this on, it was the 8th Circuit and the Supreme Court that basically said they could have this. And it was weird because during the primary, they were able to vote without that ID. And then it came to the election, or prior to the election, then they required it. So, I mean, it was very intentional. But what happened was these states all over the United States, if you look at your telecommunication bill or your cell phone bill, there's a surcharge on there. That surcharge is used and then from the federal government given to the states. And then the states use that. What they first use it for was to provide those residential addresses within the state. Now, they did it all over the state, but they never did it in Indian country. And then they realized that they didn't do it, so then they required physical addresses. I mean, it's just absurd. So it's a very, very harmful, strategic, surgical, I should say, move to lessen the amount of people that are able to participate fairly.
We talked in Georgia, 150,000 Native Americans residing in Georgia. Native American vote was huge in the state of Arizona. That is a battleground there as well. You, of course, had a Supreme Court decision dealing with the Second Amendment and, the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. But you also have Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema, who's a Democrat, who has been said she doesn't want to get rid of the filibuster, has been fighting that as well. And so many believe that the Native American vote is going to be severely impacted if Congress does not do something with the For the People Act. What is happening? How are Native Americans in Arizona putting pressure on her to say they need her to step up?
Oh, Native Americans in Arizona, all the tribes in Arizona are actually reaching out to her office saying, you know, it's actually harmful to you, because if you look how you won and you look at the number of Native Americans that voted, you wouldn't be sitting there if we didn't show up. Now, if you take and allow this to happen and we can't show up, you probably won't be a senator anymore. But, you know, the thing is, she's got 6 years. And I hate it when people get elected and have a long time before they have to make amends. But I can guarantee you that they are putting pressure on her in order for her to move forward with the John Lewis Voting Rights Amendment, with the People's Act, and actually pushing for the Native American Voting Rights Act too. So they are letting her know they're not happy.
Is she responding? Is she at least talking with them? Because many other groups, she's just completely ignoring.
Well, that I really can't answer truthfully right now because I haven't reached out to see if they really received any feedback. But, you know, it's on my list.
Folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, CEEK.com is a black-owned company founded by Mary Spiel. It's a virtual reality company where you can actually go there, look at their virtual reality content. A couple of devices they actually have for sale that you might be interested in. First off, their VR headset allows for you to slide your phone right in and experience that virtual reality content on their site or watch a 360-degree video. Also, there are 360-degree headphones, tremendous bass, used for gaming, Bluetooth, phone calls, you name it. Folks, you can get these two at CEEK.com using this promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21. You buy one or the other, or even both, a portion of the proceeds come back to us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. And so we want you to check out CEEK.com and give it a try.